What is up, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. And I have another movie review for you. And this movie was requested by Manny. And he was the one that had requested a movie that I watched that was called Theater. I'm not going to pronounce that movie because I know I'm going to butcher it. But they suggested that I watch a movie called Vedham. And I got a chance to watch it, and it was really good. So basically, this movie, now I'm not going to explain every story because this movie is about stories about people whose lives interlock into the final tale. And they focus around 5 characters whose fates, go into that one event. There you go. That goes to the event that is about to happen. Now, none of these characters know each other. None of them have spoken to each other. As far as we know, they don't know that the other one exists. And their stories interlocked because, again, they're going to go at the same destination. Now, they center around these 5 characters, and each of these 5 characters have their own story, like I said. So we have Vivek, who is an up-and-coming rock star. We have Saraja, who is a worker girl who's a prostitute. We had Ramanlu. He is a grandfather who is a weaver, and he's in a lot of debt. He has a grandson, and he is, looking after his daughter-in-law because his son had passed away, and he's looking after her and his kid and his grandson. We have Rahamuddin, who is the uncle. We have Anahid who's named as Cable, and he is he's like a hustler. He's pretending to be rich. And each of their stories, like I said, intertwined with each other. Now, I'm not going to, how can I say? I'm not going to put so much detail into it. I am going to summarize each of their stories so we can get to the main part. So basically, for Vivek's story, like I said, he is an up-and-coming rock star. And they end up having a gig that will possibly give them, the recognition that they need. And they have to get on a flight in time to get to where they need to be. So after having, after having altercations and a car being broke down and everything else, it seems that they're about to make it in time to their destination to get to where they need to be. Unfortunately, they end up having a minor accident in which it causes a woman to go into labor. So they race to take this woman to go to the hospital. Now, for Saraj's story, I know I butchered her name, Saroja. For her story, like I said, she's a prostitute. But she's trying to be better. She's trying to get a gig that can help her escape from that life. She's only doing it so the girl's got to eat. So she's doing it until she gets a gig and her wishes come true. Unfortunately for that to happen, she works with some dude who's not a very good guy and puts her with a client. She escapes with that client along with a cohort of her, an associate with her, and they ended up getting caught by the police who happens to work for that guy, and then they give them to another client. Well, they both escape after a scuffle, and during which her friend gets stabbed. So they end up going to the hospital as well. Now we have Ramula, who is the grandfather, who's the weaver. So he's in debt with the landlord. And the landlord basically says, you have 2 days to get this money that you owe. If you don't, then there's going to be trouble. He then takes his grandson as collateral. I'll bring him back when you pay my money. And basically, all he wants is for his grandson to have an education because he's illiterate and he doesn't want his grandson to have that. But after the landlord takes him away, the daughter-in-law, the mother is like going to struggle. Oh God, we have to get him back. We have to get him back. They then start to get a kidney, to donate one of her kidneys so they can get that money, which is illegal. It seems that the grandfather has done that before to pay for his education, pay for the grandson's education. But after an auction, after a certain amount of money that they get, which is enough to get them out of debt and bring the little boy back, they go to the hospital. Now we have the uncle Rahamad. So, he's a man that has suffered. His wife had died because of a miscarriage and things like that. And he has 2 nephews, and they get arrested. And him trying to sort of intervene of the arrest, he gets arrested too. So basically, the reason why his nephews are being taken away because they're under suspicions of a terrorist threat. Now, one of the nephews comes out and says, "This is a terrorist threat. Yeah, I agree to it because I am, and there's something that's going to happen at the hospital." So they end up escaping. In the process of that, the uncle gets injured. He gets shot in the leg, and because of that, he ends up going to the same hospital as all the other previous 3 characters, and he is in the same room as supposedly another injured terrorist is. In the 4th and final tale, we have Anand Cable, that's his nickname, who is pretending to be rich because there's a girl he's trying to get with, and this girl thinks that he is rich. But really, he's a middle-class dude that lives in the slums with his mother, And so he hears that there's a lavish party for New Year's, and he feels like he needs to get the tickets to impress this girl, to make sure that he can lock this girl in. Well, he gets in a lot of trouble, and he goes into the police station, and his mother is not happy with him. Is not happy at all with him, and she gives him like 3,000 rupees, I don't know how to pronounce the currency. She goes, "Do what you want with your life. Do what you want, whatever you want." So he spots Ramula, the weaver. He spots him and notices he has like 37,000 rupees, something like that. And he notices that he's going to the hospital. Follows him, takes the money and runs. When he realizes what he's doing and he starts to have a change of heart, he feels guilty, he feels regretful. He goes, "Let me go bring this money back. Let me go back to the hospital and bring the money back." He then adds the money, his 3,000 rupees, to that to go and help him out. When they get there, all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. It is crazy. We have Vivek and Anha take it upon themselves to get as many people as they can, because it is chaos, it is panic, it is crazy, and they end up dying. Cable dies, and he is honored among the community. Vivek dies, and he is hailed as a hero. Everyone else, the rest of the other 3 live. Sulja, starts a new life of her own. Risha's uncle, I guess, has to live with the fact that all of this happened. He's living his life as well. And Rumala gets his grandson back. But get this, the landlord tries to make it say, "Oh, you didn't pay me enough." The little boy, who's very quick in his mind, he goes, "Yes, he did," because he adds up everything. He adds up everything that the grandfather owes him. He goes, "Yes, he did. That money, he has that amount. The money he has is the right amount. He paid you what he needed." what you wanted. And the landlord looks impressed, like, okay, all right, lets him go. Lets him go. These are the kind of stories I like because it reminded me a lot about Patriots Day. Because you have each of the stories of the survivors that had been affected by that event. And the only thing that brought them together was because of the effects of that event, because of what the brothers did and what they caused. So, it's nice to see that. And none of these people got to knew what happened to the others. They don't know. They just know the only thing that links them together is how that event affected them, how what happened at the marathon affected them. And even though this isn't, really based on a true story, it does show that how decisions not only, it seems like fate has played its cards, like was playing its cards with this movie, and each of these people didn't know each other. They were going through their own thing, yet somehow, some way, fate decided that all of you are going to wind up in the same place. In the end, all of you are going to wind up in the same place. And I really do like this movie. I'm going to give this movie a 9. A 9. And it's crazy. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it is true with life. Our decisions, our actions have consequences. Good or bad, our actions have consequences. And we need to mind our P's and Q's, dot our I's, and cross our T's. And, even though our actions have good intentions, sometimes when we have good intentions, we do our best to do it on it. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes we get the short end of the stick when that happens. And, I guess it's the whole desperate times, desperate measures. How far are you willing to go to get a result that you need? And how much of the consequence are you willing to pay for it? How much of the consequences are you willing to face? What is the cost that you're willing to pay to make that happen? And that's what this was, Some of them, this was like, some of them were wrong for the ride. Others were at wrong place, wrong time. Some people were just, they tried to get to do one thing and it just didn't work out like that. This was a good movie. I am going to give it a solid 9. This movie is called Vedham, Vedam. And Manny said that this is a very popular movie among, the Tegul people. Tegul. Sorry if I butchered that name. But Manny said that it is beloved, it is very popular, it is a masterpiece. I did enjoy it. It kept me at the edge of my seat. I'm like, go. Yeah, I did enjoy this movie. I did like it. It's crazy. You look at the uncle didn't even know he didn't believe that his nephews were a part of it, and one of them was. And just wow. Like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. And this movie, I'm going to give a solid 9. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I like I said, I was only going to summarize each of the stories. That way it wasn't like an hour-long review. But yeah, this was a good movie. I'm going to give it a 9. Manny, thank you so much for recommending this movie. I really did like it. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a solid 9. This was good. And hopefully, if you guys want to watch it, great. And hopefully you enjoyed this review and my opinion. So thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day and be safe out there, okay?